Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Raw Talk. This is my friend Bonnie Daneker. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you so much for being here today and spending a few minutes.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Bonnie and I met at a writing retreat called Book in a Barn last year in January that a mutual friend of ours, Laura Bush, created. And she came to bring her expertise in writing and business and things of that nature to the retreat. And there was about 20 of us, and it was really amazing. And now we have reconnected for something very special on both of our ends. So I'm really excited to have you today. So you're an entrepreneur and you've been a writer for many, many years. So you know what it's like to cut your teeth on a book and to struggle and muddle through that writing process. You originally started Right Along With You. So tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Right Along With You is a literary consultancy that I started to help people write books. So a lot of people say, oh, I've always wanted to write a book and I don't know how. And with Right Along With You, we not only offered them project management, like a step-by-step guide on how to write a book, but also that accountability. And what we really encourage people to do is write with someone else, okay? So hence the name Right Along With You. Write with a collaborator, write with a ghostwriter, write with a co-author, and really take the pressure off an individual client by adding in another supportive person in that writing process. So we've been doing that for about 3 years. And recently my husband has accepted a new job. And so we moved to the Midwest. And I was really thinking, I love the written world and the written works, and I love the literary world. And I really want to know what I can do to continue to contribute to that business. Knowing that I've got a new location, knowing that I've got this interest in me that's been awakened with my last 2 books, which I'll tell you about in a second, which focuses on agriculture and food and nutrition, and then also my certification in sustainability. So, you've got this perspective on publishing that some people have, that we use a lot of ink, we use a lot of paper, and what can we do to make it smarter and sharper, use less energy, but also reach the audiences the way we need to. So all of those things were going around in my mind, thinking about the last 2 books that I wrote, which is the story of Prego spaghetti sauce called It's in There. And the second one is called One Man's Quest to Keep You Safe. So both of those are co-authored with food scientists. And it really gave me a big respect and a big understanding about what's happening in the food community now. And as we move to the Midwest, it's a bigger interest of mine, because this is agriculture country, and a lot of the agricultural crops that we need to feed the United States and even the world are here. So I thought about it, and I've decided to rebrand to the Author's Greenhouse to help authors with that developmental process. So still helping them write books, so writers into authors, I should say, where they're going through the steps of the composition, but also understanding the production and distribution and the lifestyle of being an author. So it's not as stumbling and uncomfortable becoming an author as it could be. Okay, so all of a sudden you're a public figure when you're an author. All of a sudden you have a business to manage. All of a sudden you have social media and other marketing responsibilities. So how do you manage that? So my new company, the Author's Greenhouse, will help with those. So it'll help you become an author, and then it will help you become a more successful business of being an author, because you have that education behind you.
Right, which is exactly why it's divine timing that you and I connected again, because that's really close to where I'm at with my book and trying to figure out what am I going to do and how am I going to get my message out there. And I do have a question kind of off kind of our script here. But one of the questions is, now this is just what I've heard, that it's not so much sometimes the money that you make on the book, it's the money you make surrounding what you do with all the information, the whole package. So it's creating the business. Is that correct?
It's creating the business because you want to extend the content as much as you can, repackage as much as you can, as often as you can, to reach the audiences that need it. So absolutely, you can only sell a few books if you have limited distribution, but if you use digital distribution, if you do speaking, if you have merchandising, if you have video games, if you have a lot of other transmedia available to you, you can really spread that message all over the world. So one of the reasons that Laura Bush brought me to her book in the barn was not only so I could enjoy the fruits of learning with everybody else as a working author, but I presented for our other author attendees there, or other writer attendees there, the idea of content extension. So what do you do once you've got your manuscript in a really good place and you're ready to release it? So what kind of print partners are you going to have? What kind of other media are you going to involve so that you can really, again, get that message to your audience? You're absolutely right. You can make a lot more money on the things that surround your book than the book itself. Sometimes, you know, there's an opportunity for syndication and international distribution and translation, multiple languages that really open that up. But it's a whole lot easier to do things here in the United States in English. And you have a lot of opportunities to do that with transmedia and you know, digital distribution. So you are absolutely right on that. And that's, again, one of the reasons that we are working in the Author's Greenhouse, to help you understand the revenue streams that come with writing a book, and how do you manage that, and how do you build a business around that.
Right. Which is, I'm so excited, and we're in the process of you know, putting that together for me. That's where I'm ready to go. Now, since COVID, it's been pretty amazing. I've connected with a lot of writers, actually. You know, a lot of people I've met are writing manuscripts, and there's a handful that are writing different stuff. You know, just someone I met wants to do like horror screenplay, and someone else I met is just writing little short stories and poems and things like that. Do you handle all the genres of every type of book out there?
So one of the reasons that I rebranded is so that I can broaden the scope of the people that we help. Those that really want to become an author and are not quite sure how. I mean, that's been the impetus for the last 15 years that I've been involved in publishing, is who do I trust? What steps do I need to take? What steps should I avoid taking? You know, what are my options? And yes is the short answer to your question, but a little bit longer is we look at every project. There are some that we don't have expertise in, and that we try to use our network of affiliates and partners to help you find the best resource that fits. You know, screenplays are an extension usually of a principal book. That's what we call in the industry. There's the first book that you write that's the principal book, and then there might be a screenplay adaptation or a theatrical adaptation for the stage. There are partners that we work with for those kinds of things. So if it's not me, we try to reach you or connect you, reach out to our teammates, our partners, to see if we can get you a better resource.
Okay, well that's awesome, because being in the industry and being able to like just outsource and be the source of the source and just kind of help people, that's amazing. I know there's a lot of people that will probably call you after this that I've met, because they're in that space and they're right there where I'm at, where they're just not quite sure what to do next. So I'm really excited about this. You know, tell me a little bit, I'm going to ask a little off script on this one. Tell me a little bit about your journey of what inspired you to get into writing.
I'm glad you asked, because actually this is really personal, Kelly, and I love telling the story. I'll give you the short version, which is, you know, my dad was diagnosed with cancer after not being sick for like 40 years. So he was in the doctor's office and given a diagnosis of 8 weeks to live. So it was a huge shock to my family, who is ultra healthy and so forth. And I was single at the time, and so I volunteered to help take care of him, and found out that there weren't a lot of books on caring for cancer patients. So in the early 2000s, my first 5 books were on caring for cancer patients. And then, you know, I had several people ask me to collaborate on books and help them with different book projects. And I thought, you know what? I'm getting all the signals. I've published in, multiple genres at that point, and I know how to do this. And the right thing to do is create a literary consultancy. And so, like I said, I've been doing this for more than 10 years, and it's really a vocation for me. It's a place of love and respect and encouragement that we come from. I have project managers that work with me. I have a whole network of contractors and consultants, and we don't take any projects that we don't really feel good about. And we want to add to the genres. We want to leave legacies. We want to enable our writer clients to make the next step professionally or personally, or honor an important connection that they have. So, I got started to, honor my father and to create an educational resource for other cancer families. And that's, at the core of what I do. So the projects that come to me, even if it's a horror screenplay, so we might look at it and say, what is the value to the horror genre? What is the value to its audience members? How is this helping the author get the message across? And then work with them so we put together a distribution plan that makes sense for that business. So there are some fantastic, just as horror as an example, I was just reading in Writers Magazine about the history of horror. And you can find beauty and creativity and construction in every genre. And that's, again, why we're opening our doors. Our mainstay had been nonfiction, business, biography, and health and wellness. But over the years, we've added fiction, children's books, romance, poetry, etc., and really have a deep bench of partners that we can work with to handle some of those things in high expertise. So we've got our depth in memoir, in biography, in all things related, health and wellness, and then a business. Those are our mainstays. So, but we look at, like I said, every writing project that comes to us.
Right. And I love that you, I've seen people co-author, but honestly, I mean, I'm coming from like writing 101, like writing for dummies. Okay. I don't mind saying it out loud because it's been brand new for me and it's been such a struggle. And it's been really hard to wrap my head around what all these the literary means, the agent, around all these things and what their targets are and how in the process they're going to help me. So I love that, first I want to know the titles of the books that you wrote. And I do love that you, it's really important when you are how do I say this? I love and respect that you take what you know and you run with that and you honor that. And then the things that you may not be, totally educated in of different topics. I love that you bring in the co-author to help you with the agriculture and that kind of thing. And you bring in the truth so you can deliver real authenticity. I'm sorry I stumbled in that statement, but it's a huge compliment is what I'm trying to give you.
Oh, thank you. And you know what, if I can interrupt for a second, two things with that come up for me when you say that. First of all, when you're writing a memoir, it's really difficult to let someone in to help you do that. And the second thing is sometimes people don't want a co-author or a collaborator because they're worried that their message is going to get diluted. But with Right Along With You, one of the pieces, our value statement includes, protecting the author's voice, right? So what did they want to say? How did they want to say it? And why, right? I mean, of course, we coach the writer clients that this is a book that they're presenting to the audience that needs to buy it. So of course, there's got to be something that the audience wants because they're going to be paying for that. but also there's something that the writer wants to say. So we try to come at it from both sides to create something that the author feels really proud of and really satisfied, really contributing that message. And then the audience in turn feels really gratified that they spent the money, spent the time, spent the energy reading, and they really got something that they can apply to their lives out of the book. So with that, with the memoir, the last two books that I did, they're part memoir, part product and process history. Okay, so we can market them in two different ways, but both of these men were food scientists, as I mentioned, and they weren't writing narratives most of their lives. They were writing science most of their lives.
Exactly.
So, Bill Hildebold, who recently passed away, unfortunately, from lung cancer, he and I collaborated on a book called It's in There, the innovation, determination, and dedication to the birth of Prego spaghetti sauce. So, yeah, Prego, I know it's huge. If you write It's in There, you'll find it on Amazon. But, it's a $30 billion product from Campbell Soup Company. Prego is a huge, huge product. And Bill was a food scientist, PhD in the biological sciences, and studied for his PhD the process of green beans deteriorating. So that's not sexy, that's not fun. But the book that we produced is very fun. It's, the story of him leaving college and going to a new city and starting a family and meeting Lassie and, doing some crazy things, developing food biscuits for dogs and that kind of thing. And, then meeting the onion lady, Onion Mary, who did a lot of chopping for the Campbell Soup. So it's a really fun book. And that one is a fundraiser for agriculture students at Ohio State. So all sales from It's in There, the proceeds go to fund the Ohio State University College of Agriculture scholarships. So we are really proud of that, and I'm going to do a couple signings later this year, hopefully, and early next year to fully fund that. So that was one of them, and we loved working on that book. The other book is called, it's a long one too, it's called One Man's Quest to Keep You Safe. And it's Dale Cyberling and Clean in Place Innovation. And again, he's a food scientist. He's in dairy engineering, and almost everything we eat, Kelly, everything we drink, all the medicine we take goes through a process. And so, to keep those pipes clean, to keep those filters clean, to keep those, capsule machines clean, to make our little, vitamins or Advil, that's Clean in Place innovation. So this guy, again, a scientist, but a good storyteller. And I was able to work with both of them to get their messages out. So very, very unique voices. They went through to the same college, but they write totally differently. So I was able to help them get their message out. And I really enjoyed their love of nature, their love of science, their love of food. And it got me hooked. So I'm hoping that I get some more clients.
Oh, we got a little short there. Are you still there?
Yeah, hi.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so on those last ones, so then what are the names of the other books?
Okay, so the other books that I've written, a lot of them are on Amazon. There's Publishing as a Marketing Strategy, which I think a lot of your clients would like. That's a collaborative work. There is Building a Business, Building a Life, which is another one your clients might like, because it's very difficult to do the balance, and even more so in our complicated environment right now. But then there are, again, 5 books on caring for cancer patients. It's called the Compassionate Caregiver Series, but you'll find only one of those on Amazon.com because we sold the remaining 4 to another cancer care provider. Then there's Climb, which is the Leading Women in Technology Show Their Journeys to Success book. That's a collaborative book of 57 women's stories and 5 men's stories on living in or growing their careers in the technology area. So most of those, like I said, are on Amazon, but I don't know if you can see, in my bookcase, some of the other ones, my clients are in the pink, the row in the pink labels all of
I
them.
can, yeah.
And I'm still unpacking. I'm going to put some more up there, but I've got, I think, maybe 60. So I've really been blessed to, help a lot of people achieve their dreams.
That's awesome, Bonnie. This information is, I mean, I know it's very, very valuable to me. I know it's going to be valuable to the people that I know that are struggling in the writing process. And no matter where they are in the writing process, this interview is going to definitely give them like some relief that there's steps to be taken, there's options to do, and it doesn't need to be this big mountain. You just kind of go up one step at a time, like you do any other task or goal or whatever. You don't look up, you just look down and you keep going one stair at a time. And I appreciate you just breaking that down and putting that all into perspective for me, because it gives me like hope, and it's affordable for me to take those little steps, and I don't have to take it all at once, but it gives me hope that I've taken, it also validates that I've done the right thing and through my process. The struggle is real, and I had to go through that. And I needed the book retreat with Laura was, I mean, just the 5 senses. I knew nothing about doing that in a book, right? I mean, literally writing a book for dummies and taking it to where I am today. And now, to you taking my hand and taking me to the next level. It's just awesome, and I love the whole process of it. So I appreciate so much your time. I'm going to definitely plug you in and your website so everybody, you guys can know where to find Bonnie, how to find Bonnie, and how she can help you. And until we meet again, and I'm sure that we will.
Definitely. Yes. Well, thank you for having me. And I really couldn't say it better. I love meeting people where they are and helping them understand just little steps of what to do next. And then all of a sudden you've got this wonderful creation, great manuscript, a really great final book, a wonderful business you could be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is great. So you make it all feel achievable for me. So thank you for that. Well, have a wonderful day, Bonnie, and I will definitely talk to you again soon, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Kelly. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.